Good one, my dude.
Peace out.
Yep. Big season chat for Big Daddy Clay. Okay, cool. So we're gonna do a quick tuning on while we're here on Tor, because Clay's big brain is changing me. Okay, so okay. So with Tor, let's just add the cards that we want to do first. So we're gonna do O token, O creature, and we're gonna do type. So type is not a creature, and we're gonna see what comes up. One of the things we didn't get to mention there that I think is actually like kind of a big deal is I mentioned the card Hordling Outburst, and if you see, or no, not Hordling, but Goblin War Party. Goblin War Party is 4 mana. It has Entwine. There's 2 different effects. One makes 3 Goblin tokens. The other one gives +1/+1 in haste. And the reason I mentioned that that's so important is that my observation lately playing playing in this format is that haste is an amazing blowout when people are relying on the initiative. So like these cards that allow us to like get in and snipe the initiative and maybe the monarch start to become very card positive. And so we are just gonna like windmill slam this card into the deck. And he had plenty of mana to cast it. Here it is. It's 7 mana to entwine it, but you could also it's just good. So we want this. The other one is fucking Goblin Wizardry. How did I miss this? Instant speed, 4 mana, create 2 prowess 1/1 Goblin Wizards. This is like so busto in this deck.
Pretty good.
This is so fucked up actually. Like Hordling Outburst goes in here. Krenko's Command. We could even consider like join the Maestros to sacrifice our Goblin tokens. So we'll throw that in there here. We have a lot of artifacts. So Coldoltha Rebirth is starting to look good. Molten Birth is another one. We're not going to play all these, but we're just going to throw them in first. Mona of the Unhallowed, 2 triggers, 4 bodies and their 2/2s, highly relevant. We could even play Satyr's Cunning, but the fact that it's reusable is pretty cool. Like we can just use our graveyard to like make tokens, but they don't block, and non-blocking creatures kind of suck. Yeah. What else? We got Thatcher's Revolt, but those ones don't stick around. Warren Weirding is kind of interesting. It's an edict that can also just make bodies. Okay, that's a pretty good start. So those ones, and then we need God, if only we had learn boards, dude. Fucking WotC, come on.
It would have been nice.
Learn boards for Commander would have been so hype. I would have been so excited about that. Goblin Gathering is a bit underrated because you're only doing... Does Goblin Gathering only produce 2? Because it doesn't see itself, right?
No, it does not.
Create a number of goblins equal to 2 plus the number of... Right, so the tokens come into play as it goes to the graveyard. So, okay.
Yeah.
Flurry of Horns is also rather interesting, making 2/2/3 bodies. So we got a couple of chats here. Tina Von K, I filed so many hissing iguanas the other day. Tina is an employee at Cosmic Games in my local area, and hoping actually to work out a partnership with them to be hosting cPDH tournaments and things like that as well. Chris Lively, who's next full stream build? Who's the next full stream build? Good question. The next one is scheduled for Monday, and it is Sludge Strider. And Sludge Strider is going to be a lot of fun. While I'm chatting here, would one of you guys find that build on the Common Connoisseurs and drop it in chat? That link is already up, so that'll be on Monday. And we've got Jonathan. Hey there, bud. Glad to have you here. Jonathan checking in from NZ, from New Zealand. No, Australia. My bad. Australia, that's right. And then Puzzlebox. Yeah, tuning up for Tor. That's right. So that's what we're working on right now. We're doing a little build on Tor because Clay revealed to us the genius big brain move of like making tokens, creature tokens, with instants and sorceries in Tor Wauki, which, dude, the idea of like I make bodies and kill yours is like really rude. It's really fucking rude. I don't have experimental synthesizer in the deck either. Man, what kind of crack was I smoking when I made this? Flurry of Horns, Dwarven Reinforcements. Don't really like that as much. Is Empty the Warrens good here? I think it is, isn't it?
It is a sorcery speed storm card.
So we have to build our own storm. So,
yeah.
like, what would this look like if we had Tor in play and we have, like, say we have 10 mana, which is reasonable, and we go, like, Flame Slash something, Scred something, Empty the Warrens? Make,
Oh, links don't show in chat. Okay. Well, I tried.
Oh, that's why. This is my fault. So I need to change that stream setting. So enable Interesting. There's nothing that's allowing me to for you to do that. Huh.
Oh, well.
Okay, maybe I can do it. Would you send here, I'll find it. So we got YouTube. So for the link for next stream, we're gonna pull that up here. I should be able to do it. The tryhards. And then also get your link as well. So yeah, Sludge Strider coming up soon. We'll post this one in chat. There we go. That's the Sludge Strider link. And then we're gonna do puzzle box, PDH, magic. The keywords haven't yet found your. There's other puzzle box out there.
I know. It is sad.
Yeah, it's a little tough. But we'll get there. Hopefully this helps.
We're almost to 100 subs.
That's excellent. And folks, take a moment. If you love cPDH, if you enjoy this kind of content, go and sub to Puzzle Box. For those of you that don't know, YouTube is all built on algorithms. It's all algorithms. And
it's true.
For you to go and like, comment, subscribe on things really is one of the best ways you can support us. The other way you can do it is that Clay and I do have a Patreon. And we're going to be modifying that soon with some tiers that allow you access to certain things. We're going to start bifurcating some of the content so that people who are patrons will actually get access to the videos earlier and get access to exclusive things. And those things are going to be, there's a lot of them. I've got a whole sheet here with like 15 different offerings on it that we're going to have. We really do mean to deliver some of the best PDH content out there. So those two links there, check those out. Okay, but let's get back to the build here. I think Empty the Warrens does have a really high upside. I'm not sure though. What's your thought on it, Puzzle Box?
I can see it getting copied maybe twice consistently. So 6 goblins.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Game.
Yeah,
that seems tolerable.
What about Dwarven Reinforcements? If we draw this in our opening hand, we can foretell it, and then when Tor comes into play, we can cast it.
2 2/1s.
They're not very good. They're not very good
4
bodies.
mana. Yeah, that seems a little rough.
Yeah, I don't think that makes it.
I think it's better off just playing Krenko's command and not bothering with that.
Fungal Infection's another one. This is basically a bolt.
I think that one's considerable.
Yep.
I think that one's pretty good, pretty playable actually.
Which one?
The fungal.
Yeah, I like this is a surprise blocker playable too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's see what we got. This is gonna put us to like 111 cards, 114. Fuck. Okay. So what can go? One of the areas where we have a lot of spells already is we have a ton of removal, and we have a commander that also is just removal all the time. And so there's a part of me that thinks we could just like cut back on like some of these to just like does Frostbite need to be 1 mana deal 5, or could it be like Goblin, or Krenko's command?
I will say that like with Frostbite, it's not necessarily 1 mana deal 5. It can also be 1 mana deal 3 and deal 2.
Yeah. That is one of the
creatures. So
it's one of the things that is funny about this is that like the capacity for removal is so huge that like there's almost a world where you like don't even play 2 mana removal spells. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
if I'd start cutting removal, I'd cut the more expensive removal.
Yeah, right. This is like I love it. We're deep in the heresy here when we're talking about like cutting Go for the Throat, Grasp of Darkness, Terminate, and Victim of Night. Like these are some of the best removal spells in the format, and it might actually be correct to cut those. Yeah.
Did Clay say he's only playing Pyro and not Reb?
Yep. And I think that's reasonable.
I think with the amount of blue kind of decaying, at least in our meta, that's pretty reasonable.
And also, like, Reb can't target anything.
Yeah. Yeah,
So...
I understand that explanation, but I'm just trying to consider, like, is it worth it? Because I think generally those two are just always worth including.
Yeah.
Until, you know, recently when everyone's just playing black instead of blue.
Yeah, it's a really interesting. There's a really dynamic push-pull between blue and black, because when there's lots of blue players, the black players are like, all right, I'm going to load up on 11 discard spells, and I'm just going to like make you lose everything. And then when there's not, you know, and then when people lean out of that, like I have, like if Passageway Seer, I took the discard cards out, then you might see a resurgence of blue. But also like the blue spells can save you from dying, but they're also way lower value. So like a Fleshbag Marauder is way higher value than a counter spell. You know, right? You're getting all these cards from your opponent, and the discard cards are too. So, okay, not to get too distracted here. I think Clay is also probably on, like, ideally I'd like to be on 10 rocks and 36 lands. And that might seem crazy, but we've got a 5 mana commander.
Man, I'm not sure on Obelisk in a deck with as much removal as you have.
That's a good point. So is Obelisk... the reason I have Obelisk is for Oubliette.
Oubliette, and I guess land destruction if necessary.
Because we just have these 2 cards for destroying enchantments.
That's fair. I guess it depends on your card draw.
It's a lot of mana, though. It's like, oh my god.
It is a lot of mana.
An exceptional amount of mana.
I'm not the fan of the card.
Yep. So here's another thought. I actually, that last game, was really impressed with Guardian Idol, and I also really like Fountain of Ichor, which is a 3 mana version that comes into play untapped, makes it 3/3. And the reason I like these is because people sweep the board, and then they've got Pestilence and the Monarch, or sorry, like Monarch and the Initiative, and you just animate your rock and hit them.
Right.
Like it survives the board wipes. Like even that game, I was able to reanimate. I was able to animate my rock to eat an Edict as well, which was good. So maybe we cut Unstable Obelisk and we bring in 2 rocks and we do Guardian Idol. I'd love for them to print more of these, by the way.
Yeah, I use them in my my Chakram deck.
Oh yeah?
You get really funny combo lines because they're artifact creatures with cards that untap specifically artifacts and specifically creatures. You can go infinite with them in a Banishing deck very easily.
I'm realizing that Experimental Synthesizer is actually not what we want here.
I don't think so.
It's not an instant or a sorcery.
I don't think you have a good way to get rid of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that brings us down to a cool 113. I have Gangler in here. Maybe Crown Hunter Hireling isn't good enough.
I have a hard time justifying it generally when I try it.
It's a funny thing because usually it plays out fine because Monarch is something where you want to sit on it, so you're not attacking anyways. And then when somebody does take it, then you can take it back. So it can't attack when it doesn't normally attack, and it attacks when it needs to. So I kind of see it as just like another Staunch Throne Guard in a lot of ways.
I get that.
And the deck does, but you know, again, like these, you know, maybe we could also cut back on those and maybe play even more draw spells. Like if we're bringing in all these creature tokens, we could bring in like Village Rites, Deadly Dispute, Reckoner's Bargain, which are also ways to protect Tor from an oubliette.
That's true.
And
I do think you can cut creatures since you added essentially creatures.
Yeah, so like maybe like Angler works nice because we fill the yard, but like
depends on how much you need the finisher and how much you're able to get by without it.
Crimson Fleet Commodore dies to all of our sweepers. So like we can
fiery cannonade.
What's that?
Not fiery cannonade.
That's true. Good point. Another cool piece of tech that I've got here is Battle Rage Blessing, Death Touch, and Indestructible, which can allow us to
Death Touch, ping the board.
Yep. That's all pretty effective. And that's a protection spell for the mainly though.
Right.
So Crypt Rats. Crypt Rats is very good, but could Crypt Rats be something more efficient? Like, could we? Because I don't have the other ones I don't have here are. What's that new Smash card? Yeah, Smash to Dust. Destroy target artifact, creature, or deal 1 damage to each creature your opponents control.
Creature with Defender, or deal 1 to each opponent.
And Defender is actually like interesting.
It's getting a bit more.
Academy Wall, Pneumatic Wall. You wouldn't ever need to kill a Shield Sphere, but like, or a Shield Wall Sentinel, but you could. There's Gibbering Barricade, which I'm starting to play in more decks.
There's the black one that sacks a creature to draw.
Yep, that's the one, Gibbering Barricade.
Okay, that's what it's called. Never knew that.
Yeah.
I just know its effect.
Yeah. But
it could be playable.
Like, we could play these. I think 2 damage probably hits the vast majority of things in the format, right?
Yeah, man, it feels really wrong to cut Crypt Rats from a deck, but
I mean,
I think you might have a point.
I mean, this is the heart of this format, which is that like if you design your deck just around good cards, you're missing out on, you know, some really powerful stuff. Like even Corpse Augur is complete. I cut Siphon Mind, Knight's Whisper, Sign in Blood, Bonder's Ornament, Network Terminal, and all the discard creatures from Corpse Augur for stuff that made more sense in the deck, and it was wild. I've never ever cut those cards from any black deck.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's.
I will say that by the one thing that does happen is by cutting the generically good cards, you get a stronger deck when your commander's in play.
Yeah, and I think
you're also playing a 5-mana Rakdos commander.
Yeah, that is true, and so Crypt Rats can come down and deal with that. The only reason I'm comfortable with this though is because Breath Weapon, Fiery Cannonade, Pestilence, Swirling Sandstorm, and all the removal. Like,
yeah, I think you've got enough removal that you can justify it.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like, in general, removing good cards does make you more commander-centric.
This is absolutely true.
Can be a problem.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got the discard package here. And the vision here is that we cast these before Tor Wauki comes into play.
All right.
As a way to clear the way. But we could cut the least efficient of them, like Unnerve.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Skullrend personally, but
You understand why people play it, though?
I get it. It's random discard. I think it's better than Unnerve.
Just him the board. Yeah, so we could start with Unnerve.
But yeah, Skullrend's one that I'm always suspicious of, but I know other people like it, so...
Well, it's not it's not completely necessary, I suppose. But it also does 3 the table, which is nice. That's kind of a bonus. The main thing I like about it is the hemming everybody.
Yeah, the random part is good.
Yeah, it is a lot of mana. It's a lot of mana. There's no way to get around that. Okay. Graveyard Hate looks good. I don't know that I'll change this. What do you think about this? Clay and I were kind of disagreeing on that element of it.
So, obviously your commander is 5 mana.
Yeah.
It definitely sucks when he dies. He is a 3/3. They don't do anything when he gets countered, which is just an unfortunate side effect of playing Rakdos.
Yep.
And you're playing 7. How have you been feeling about them? You're the one who's played the deck.
I like them a lot. Yep. The ones that put counters on are arguably preferable because the counters just the 4 toughness black creature is a really important breakpoint.
Out of bolt range.
Yeah. Undying Evil, Undying Malice, Feign Death, even Professor's Warning. If somebody goes to bolt it, you can just put a counter on it. That's one way to do it. It's a little sketchy, but like it does work.
Yeah, it can happen.
Yep. I've been really happy with these. I think I'm testing the Battle Rage Blessing. Battle Rage Blessing is funny because you give death touch and there's a trigger, but the trigger doesn't have death touch.
Doesn't have death touch, yeah.
And
I think that's definitely the most awkward one.
Yeah. But
if there's one I'd cut, it'd be that.
Because the weird thing is like, okay, so we imagine we're trying to wipe the board, and we go Battle Rage Blessing. First of all, that totally invites our opponents to fucking like destroy us. Like, you know, anytime this is very similar to trying to storm off with our own storm with Witherbloom Apprentice. With like with Chatterstorm. That's why the card left the deck, was because it was like, oh, I go Read the Bones, I defile something, I cast, like Kodama's Reach, and then I go Chatterstorm, and I have to like maximize that. I also have to be able to hold up protection, and if I don't, then I only get 1 trigger, and so I think that this is gonna go. This is too cute.
Yeah, I agree. At 2 mana,
and this is like these are all 1. Yeah. And we're going to get more of these, too, which is good. We'll get more 1 mana protection stuff. Like, clearly, like, because Undying Malice, Professor's Warning, Feign Death, and Armor of Shadows are all new cards.
Yep.
So
I guess with the Death Touch thing, hypothetically, you could put, like, 2 triggers on the stack and then cast that and give him Death Touch.
Oh.
But then if it gets countered, then you cry because you don't kill anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's definitely
our removal is so strong though. It's like I don't think like killing things.
I don't think you're hurting for the Death Touch in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Join the Maestros is the one that looks the most sus to me here because it's actually Casualty 2, so we're not going to do that. Moan of the Unhallowed is looking really insane. You like okay. Yeah, Mode of the Unhallowed is a card I've wanted to play in this format for a long time, so it's only... Goblin Wizardry is a slam fucking dunk.
Yeah,
Fungal Infection is looking very good as a replacement for something in here. Molten Birth, probably... So, Flurry of Horns could potentially not make it.
Yeah, I always look at the higher CMC ones first, to be quite frank.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, like that might mean Empty the Warrens. Empty is really good, but like if it's a choice between Empty and Krenko's Command, we might actually choose Krenko's. Right? Yeah. So let's just do that now. We'll be really disciplined about it. Dragon Fodder, Forbidden Friendship, Krenko's Command. All of these pretty gas. And I know some of you are just like tilting out of your mind as I double up on these tags, but
yeah, you know me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to just deal with it. So we've got and then we also have End the Festivities, which was such a good print. I love this card so much. This is gonna go into sweepers, and then we could play Electrickery.
Surely the pingers stay, right?
Oh yeah, I don't think we ever lose those, right?
I wouldn't think so.
I like that Electrickery is also just a bolt. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Man, it's really starting to look like Grasp, Victim of Night, Terminate. Like, it's so fucking crazy.
It's insane.
It's insane. Like, but like, you know, you have to assess every deck in context, right? Smash to Dust, I don't know if that does enough. What are our other damage?
Are you playing a Braid?
No.
Then there's no way you play Smash to Dust, right?
Smash to Dust is more than a braid, though.
Or I guess in this, yeah, it does ping every creature, right?
That's why we're playing it. Though that's the idea.
Yeah.
Right.
I forgot it hits everything.
But is there anything else we like with Blazing Volley? Because like, yeah, if we're presented with an option, unless that effect is so good that we just always want it. There's also Dual Shot. I
think that one might be pushing it a little bit.
It relies on Tor being in play.
Yeah.
Completely and utterly. The 1-mana sweepers kind of do too, and that's the reason why I didn't have them before. Fang Dragon, though. This is a slam dunk.
Yeah, the 1-mana sweepers are really table dependent.
Mm-hmm.
Until Tor's in play, obviously. But
Radiating Lightning. I've never seen this card before.
Interesting. Seems very unplayable.
I appreciate the raw, unfiltered honesty on that.
4 mana for that? Come on.
This one's kind of cool, though. 1 damage to each player and each creature. That's actually...
It does hit you.
Oh, it hits our stuff, too.
And it's 2 mana sorcery speed.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think if you're questionable on In the Festivities, that's probably a big no. Oh,
so
Smash to Dust is sorcery speed?
Yeah, it is. That's the biggest sad with this card.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
I think that's like a huge... that's, I think, one of the biggest issues I had with this card when it was printed. Everybody got really excited about it because it's like highly modal, but it's like, dude, it's a sorcery. Like,
it's really only got 2 modes.
Yeah,
let's be
it
honest.
has 2 modes. It's a braid basically, but like
it's a braid but with a sweeper instead of damage.
Yeah. Which like I think is probably fine in some contexts. It's a weird one though too. Like it's the kind of card that tempts you in your sideboard to play like modal spells instead of spells that have like higher impact. Right? So and this is like a new player trap. Where like you're like, oh, I'm gonna play Smash to Dust in my sideboard because it covers more than one matchup. But it's like, do you actually have slots to like take this out of your deck when you're sideboarding? If you do, like, good for you. But like, if not, like, you got to think about that sort of a thing. So Smash to Dust, I don't know that this one's gonna make it. We do have Seismic Shudder, 1 damage to each creature without flying for 2 at instant.
Hits your own board still.
It hits my own board. Yeah, that's a good point.
Especially since you just put in Krenko's commands stuff.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think you want to hit your own board.
There is Wail of the Nim.
Does Vicious Rumors hit yourself?
No.
Or does it not hit board?
It does not hit board. I don't
remember.
It's only opponent. Yeah. Vicious Rumors used to be in, and then I just decided it wasn't high enough impact.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Wail of the Nim is the last one. And this one is technically 4 mana, deal 1 damage to each creature and each player. And then the other mode is regenerate each creature you control, which is kind of interesting.
It is instant speed.
And it is protection, technically.
Yeah. Could be 3 mana protection.
Yeah, which...
If you cast it at 4, it's not protection. Because it'll drop the regeneration shield whenever you ping your board. Assuming they die to it. If they survive to it, if they survive the 2 damage...
You're saying if somebody sweeps me.
Yeah, like if somebody casts a removal spell on your card and then you respond with this entwined, and the ping would kill your creature, then it's not protection because it drops its own regeneration shield.
Yeah. I guess I'm imagining this as a sweeper that... It's a very expensive sweeper, for one.
It is 4 mana to ping each opponent's board. It's just
I'm feeling
4 mana for In the Festivities.
I'm feeling a lot of cognitive dissonance around this card. I think we're going to skip it. Now
Yeah,
there
I
is
agree.
Rancid Earth. Sorcery speed if you have Threshold. Yeah, Threshold's kind of hard to get.
Yeah. You are
Uh,
playing a lot of instants and sorceries, but I don't know about that one.
yeah. Uh, okay. I think we're there. I think we found the ones that are good. I think End of Festivities and Blazing Volley are good enough because they're 1 mana and they don't hit our stuff.
I play them in my 1v1 gutter snipe deck.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, good. So this is great. I like what we've got here. Okay, so that is the last we're going to be adding. We're at 111. We got to make cuts. Oh,
Yep.
brutal. I am feeling like there's also not enough card draw. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that.
maybe Monarch and maybe Monarch
First
and
question,
Initiative
do you
aren't.
need both?
Well, do I need any of them?
Yeah, but first do you need both? And then decide after that if you still need the other? Like, which one does less for your deck?
Hitting a land drop is pretty important. The Forge is very good with Tor.
Right.
But I'm worried about running out of cards. I've played this deck before where I've run out of cards. So
I think the card draw is probably more important for this deck.
Alternatively, like instead of thinking about like cutting draw, because we would just be replacing it with some other black draw spell, maybe we need to just look at removal.
True. There is a lot of removal. What is this card? Spinning Darkness. Needs 3 black cards in the yard. That's not horrendous.
I will say that there's a lot less black in the deck right now. I mean,
That's
but
true.
it's so bonkers though.
Yeah, when it's free, it's amazing.
Like Lightning Helix plus Soren's Thirst for
I guess
free.
it still only hits non-black, but like,
Yeah, that's true. But like most of the other stuff hits black stuff.
yeah.
We could cut Ghastly Demise.
I've been cutting Ghastly Demise recently.
Yep. I think we can cut.
Feels bad, but maybe.
I hate it. I hate that I'm considering cutting Gurmag Angler. I don't know if I have it in me. Was Fungal Infection good enough? Like, if we're being real, like, is this better than Victim of Night? Making a body.
With Tor out, right?
Because
1 mana, 1/1 with Bolt. Without Tor,
It's utter dog shit.
it's not great. It kills 4/1 skeletons and mana dorks. And tokens. I think it might be leaning too much on having Tor in play when all your other cards are already removable with Tor in play.
Yeah. This is my concern, is you really have to be careful with this deck about the things that are really good with Tor and like thinking about that upside. Because when you go down that route, then you start playing all these weird cards that like suck if Tor isn't out. Like Arc Lightning, where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna cast Arc Lightning and I'm gonna target 4 different things and kill 4 tutus, right? But it's like, this is also just Like if Tor isn't in play, like that card is like 2 mana, deal 2 damage at instant speed. Or
Like
3 mana, deal
he's
3.
just playing Expedite because it's a shock that draws.
I mean,
very good when Tor is in play. Otherwise, not doing much for you.
mm-hmm. What did you think about his card Incinerate?
Incinerate?
Mm-hmm. It's 2 mana, 3 damage. If it dies, exile it, and it goes to player or creature, and it's instant.
2 mana Bolt. It's just 2 mana Bolt can't be regenerated.
Oh, can't be regenerated?
Yeah.
I don't think that's good enough, is it?
It doesn't seem very good. I think there are better 2 mana bolts.
Can't be regenerated, yeah. Yeah, I don't think that makes sense.
Seems better.
Yeah. Okay. Forked Bolt could come out. Forked Bolt is the most efficient of those effects. It's another synergy card.
Sorcery speed. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, this card is 1 mana, deal 2 damage to 3 things.
Right.
But yeah, sorcery speed. I mean, because we're like looking at like cards that do better, right?
Yeah, we're adding in sweepers, so we don't need as many of the synergy sweepers, because the sweepers are already synergized.
Right. Yeah, Blazing Volley is better than that, isn't it? 2 damage to 3 targets. Okay.
Yeah, this is 2 damage to every target.
Mm-hmm. So we play the 1 mana sweepers over the cute shit. So go for the throat's the best one. Well,
go for the throat is 1 and a black, so
oh yeah,
validly better probably, considering conditions.
So Grasp of Darkness is the next worst one.
Probably Grasp and then Victim of Night, if I had to guess.
How do we feel about Thunderclap? I think these instant speed spells are just so good.
Yeah, free instant speed interaction is just always good, even without Tor, right?
Yep. So here's another thing to think. I think Spinning Darkness is great, but like, do we have a lot of black instants and sorceries?
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll have to look back on spinning depending on how much black you have after the cuts.
1, 2, 3,
probably
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18, 19, 20. It's like a quarter of the deck are like cards that go in the graveyard in black. It's probably pretty good.
Did you count? Did you count your creatures in that?
No.
Okay. Then that's probably still playable.
Yeah.
Might need to recount it once we're done with cuts, but can.
How do you feel about Fang Dragon?
Fang Dragon's 2 mana sweeper, right? And then a 6/3 flyer. I think if we play this, we can validly cut Gurmag Angler.
Ooh. I'm pretty excited about a flyer. That's my main thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the flying's really nice, and it's got enough power to actually be a finisher.
Swirling Sandstorm, how do we feel about this one?
Earlier you said Threshold's a little rough, right?
I don't know. It's just unreliable.
This one's what, 4 mana?
4 mana, does nothing, or if you have Threshold, deals 5 to everything without flying.
Alright. So it doesn't deal with evasive threats. It leaves your Fang Dragon if it happens to be in play.
Yep.
I think this one really
it's on the edge.
Depends on... Yeah.
Like, do we need this?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is so many sweepers.
That's true. Yeah, it's probably the most conditional one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even with the 1 mana deal ones, like this one potentially does nothing.
Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, all these other damage-based things are going to kill a Dargo.
Right.
Um, okay, we only have 6 more cuts. We're actually doing pretty good. And we've got these ones here that might not be good enough. Maybe Goblin War Party doesn't make it. I don't think Smash to Dust. I think we've already decided that.
Yeah, probably not.
Hordling Outburst is good, but
3 mana, 3/3 on cast, deal 2 if your commander is in play, and if not, 3 mana, 3/3.
mm-hmm. It's quite reasonable. Molten Birth works 60% of the time every time.
Yeah.
It is a weird form of card advantage,
Hmm.
potentially.
I I almost want to say, do you play that instead of Hordling Outburst?
Mm. Because of the upside?
All right, you lose 1 body. On average, you gain 1.
Mm-hmm. This is also repeat removal, actually.
Yeah, so on average, you gain 1
Mm.
plus more synergy.
It's actually better, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Uh, Technically, yes. Statistically,
I
yes.
have Coffin Purge and Rotten Reunion because both of them flashback. So they're both. So each one of those is 2 mana, deal 4, gain 4.
Or I guess the average is the same amount of bodies on the Molten Birth, but, math. Anyways.
Oh, it's the same, but for more mana? Or you
Right,
have to
so
cast
half
it
the
twice?
time I guess it's technically higher because, half the time you get 2, half the time the other half, assuming we're only thinking of the first coin flip, you get 4. So that averages out to 3, but it does cost them more mana, but it also gives you an extra Tor trigger. So I suppose it depends on if you want
Do we
consistency or
value? Yeah, I don't know that having 3 bodies is all that much better than having 2.
that's what I'm thinking. I think
Yeah.
this is worth the risk.
Yep. Okay. Good. 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 So War Party, I think, is gonna not make it. Um,
Yeah,
it's 4 mana, make 3.
right.
Okay. What draw spells are we missing? And ideally, instant speed.
Is Reckless Impulse instant speed?
Uh-uh.
No.
But it is 2 mana.
Yeah.
I'm not playing Faithless Looting.
I don't blame you.
I don't like that card in most
Especially not
contexts.
in a control deck.
Nope. We gotta get the music going here again. Yep, I am still here. There we go. There we go. And I don't know if there's any other instant speed draw spells. We already have Succumb. It's so weird when including the tokens is done to the way I'm thinking about this, because now I'm looking at like exploit creatures,
Right.
which is not correct to do.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think Tramway Station might actually be good.
I was gonna say the land is playable at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's get that in there. I also wouldn't hate going up to 36 lands, especially if I'm adding a draw. Like, this is the package I'm running in a lot of my, like, Jundi control mid-range decks, is 10 mana rocks minimum, and then 35, 36 lands. And both of those decks have initiative in them, too. So, whereas Tor does not. So, we're not guaranteeing our land drop.
Well, we still do, right? At the moment? Or did you take...
Oh, we have it, but what I'm saying is we always have it in the command zone with those other decks.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Yeah, you play those decks. I remember.
Yeah, Passageway and Rilsa.
And Rilsa, yeah.
Yeah, although I think Passageway has kind of been my preference lately.
So, do we cut initiative? ?
Man, what a tough call. What are we on mana sources? So we're a little more black heavy than we are red. Okay, so that's good. We've got the draw. We've got the good draw spells. Yeah, what is the worst? Man, we need chat's help right now. We only got 2 of us though, so that's okay. We'll probably split this into 2 videos.
Yeah, probably.
which is why I'm continuing it on, even though we don't have any viewers. It's totally fine.
You need a way to win the game, mate. I think initiative is a really good I win the game.
Oh, you know what I should be doing right now is actually going to deck tech. Oh crap, I've been doing this wrong the whole time. I thought I had the so we want to be streaming here. Yeah, so there we go.
Win conditions
My bad.
Are the pingers with Tor in play.
Hey Nate, good to see you, bud. Thanks for stopping in. You're catching the tail end of a game, and we decided to kind of press on here because Clay grew a big old brain and discussed why he was playing token makers in Tor, and it totally threw me for a loop. For one thing, that my brain was so small that I didn't consider it, but it fixes a big problem with the deck and gives us triggers with Tor. So we let the bodies hit the floor in both ways. We make creatures, theirs die. So we're doing that, and we're trying to figure out what to cut right now. And Tina, still in chat. What's up? Glad to have you here. Glad you're sticking around. So the question is, we have 4 cuts. We've gone up 2 rocks, or 1 rock, 1 land. We've gone up on sweepers, particularly these 1 mana ones. And the reason for that is that they fill in for the cuter, cheekier cards like Dual Shot and Forked Bolt, while also not hitting our stuff and also dealing a little bit of damage in some cases. And they're just cheap. And then we went down on removal a little bit. We're still thinking whether we might cut Victim of Night and maybe even Terminate, because all of these are 1 mana deal 5, which means that at the very minimum they're going to kill Dargo, which is good. Oh, you know what? Let's see. So I need to hold on one sec. I need to do something with OBS here real quick. We need to turn off the virtual camera for now. We go here, and then we going to gotta find my webcam. Show it, change it, and then properties, Logitech, and then webcam. That should do it. Didn't like that. Okay, that's fine. So let's see. The other things we have here, all the draws are good. Maybe we reel back on the token makers a little bit, because now we have 19. Well, we're talking about 17, but we have the 2 rocks.
I do think Jonathan has a point. What do you have for win conditions right now? You have...
Oh, we don't need to worry about that.
Dragon. You have
winning is not a problem in this deck.
I guess it's just kind of a grind them out.
Yeah, it's Rakdos, man. We got the pingers, we got Gurmag Angler, but like Tor is a win condition. You just burn them out. Like when you get to the end of the game and nobody has anything, and you're like, you just cast these 3 and you kill somebody, and you know. So I'm not too worried about that. Nate says, I can't help with this card view. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Nate. I'm sure this is partially why we had a little bit of a drop off after the game was that I was sitting here talking about the deck while I was streaming the spell table. So that was my bad. I'm still a novice at this, and we're learning as we go. Nate says, well, if Tor isn't out, it's not 5 damage. I don't think you ever get rid of Term or Victim IMO. Yeah, and I think the part of the reason why I want to keep those is that I just want to have a way to kill something sometimes, right? Just kill it. We don't have to worry about Tor being in play. That unconditionality is just so important to what we're doing. Let me just swap really quick here. I need to see if I can re-trigger my webcam to come into play here. Yeah, that's okay. Nobody needs to see my face right now.
I could see cutting a sweeper.
Yeah, maybe one of the 1-mana sweepers. I hate to say it, but Fang Dragon's the worst of them, right? Isn't it? Maybe it's not. I mean, the 2 of them are sorceries, right? So Blazing Volley and the Festivities are both sorceries.
So it really depends on how much you care about having the body late game.
The body dies to a Stiff Breeze, but this is late game, right? Like the vision I have for this card is that we, is it's just sitting in exile. It's just sitting there. And then when we don't have any cards in hand and we don't have any more gas, we play Fang Dragon. And at that point, it's very good, right? Because it's like the 4th order complexity here is that Fang Dragon isn't just being played as soon as we get it, when everybody has removal. We're playing it at the very, very latest when we're grinding, and I think that's better than Blazing Volley. Electrickery I like because it just hits a single creature for 1 or at instant speed, or we can overload it. Whereas Blazing Volley is a sorcery.
Yeah.
So Blazing Volley comes out, Fang Dragon stays in, and we're still at 6 sweepers. This is more sweepers than most decks. So, okay. And then Goblin Wizardry is a slam dunk. Molten Birth coming back over is good. Krenko's Command, Forbidden Friendships got haste. Dragon Fodder. These all seem really good. I keep looking at Gurmag Angler, but I just have to look away. Look away. Okay, you hate Skullrend.
Personally, yeah.
Yep. How many things do we have that use the graveyard? We have Spinning Darkness, we have Gurmag Angler, and we have Tassiger's Cruelty. That's not too much. Skullrend is going to come out. I love the card, but it's going. Because we're swapping one good thing for another. Like these token makers are doing something early on that is really important, which is like buffering our life total. They're acting as removal too. They're much cheaper. I think that seems smart.
Nate
Okay.
says Cough and Purge, Fiery Impulse, or Frostbite.
Okay, so I'm going to make an argument. So I am going to keep Fang over Blazing Volley, just for the reasons I mentioned. Coffin Purge, and Rotten Reunion, and you mentioned just Coffin Purge, but Coffin Purge, if you think about it, is not only a relevant effect that is actually pretty oppressive to combo decks, but it's also 2 mana, deal 4 damage and gain 4 life. It is actually on rate with Grasp of Darkness. Yeah, it's on rate for Grasp of Darkness is kill 1 thing for 4, deal 2, and gain 2. So it's a little bit less good, but I think that's okay. The flashback is just so good. Fiery Impulse and Frostbite can go. That's reasonable. Like, does this removal section need to be 14 cards when we have 6 sweepers, 3 edicts, and then like all of this is removal too? I think that's actually a really good point. What do you think about that puzzle? Like, maybe we split the difference?
Seems fair.
Like, do a which one's worse, Frostbite or Fiery Impulse? I think Frostbite's probably better.
I need to reread
3.
Impulse here real quick.
It's a spell mastery.
Ooh.
They're both pretty consistent.
You've got 26 snow lands.
It's 26 plus Riveter's Overlook, and this is just Riveter's Overlook. Oh, you know what? We're not playing the Snow Duel in here, are we?
No.
I should probably be on that. Sulphurous Mire.
Yeah, seems if you're gonna play Frostbite, then yes.
I think, yeah, what we'll do is we'll do wow, I can't spell. Sulphurous Mire, and then we do type Swamp, type Mountain.
I don't think Coffin Purge is conditional.
Oh,
it's just
wait.
Grave Hate.
Huh? What's that?
Oh, they said. I assume it's talking about.
It says, but the spell itself is so conditional. Yeah, so it's conditional on the fact of having Tor in play, which is a really good point. We have to really balance between, like, are these cards good?
True.
Right.
But even if Tor's not in play, it's instant speed targeted Grave Hate.
Yeah. Highly relevant.
Which really, really strong against most combos in the format.
Yep. Having those 3 is pretty brutal.
At least most blue combos.
Oh, we also talked about... Oh, crap, I'm going to have to add some more here. Village Rites, Deadly Dispute, Reckoner's Bargain. I mean, there's a real argument here for going down to, like... You know, we're playing dedicated removal, but, like, you know, Tor, like, young Tor is removal. If you have him out.
Right.
If you have him out. If you don't, then suddenly, yeah. So, you know, we can't go down that road. That doesn't make sense. But we can cut one of these. I think Fiery Impulse. Oh, we need to cut lands again. So we need to go 1 down, 1 down. I was wondering why we were so far into the 104.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously Coffin Purge is worse than Rotten Reunion.
Yep. So maybe
if you're gonna cut one of them, it is that.
Well, maybe that is it. I mean, 2 pieces of Graveyard Hate's sufficient usually, right? That's like most decks have. Oh, actually, we have more than that because we also have Bajuka Bog.
Oh, you have Bog too.
And I don't have Bajuka Bog in here.
Yeah, if you have Bog too, then I'd say Coffin Purge is probably a relevant cut.
Yep. I think you've swayed me on this one there, Nate, and Puzzle. So Coffin Purge goes, and then we are at 36 lands. Okay, good. So we have one more cut to make. And then what we can decide is, and this is an interesting question, but with all these token makers, and with the benefit of being able to sack Tor, if we sack Tor, we can save ourselves from an Oubliette, which is, we only have 2 ways to destroy Oubliette right now. And those draw effects work really good with the tokens, right? So we could potentially cut Monarch, Thorn. We could cut Monarch and Initiative, which seems crazy, maybe, because they're just good on their own. It's another one of those, like, synergy versus raw playability questions. We could cut the least efficient of them, so we could cut Crown Hunter, Staunch Throne Guard, and Underdark Explorer, and keep Vicious Battle Rager and Thorn. And then add 2 sack effects.
That seems feasible.
Like, we're not leaning super heavy into the initiative here in the Monarch. We don't need to. So let's do that. All right, we're gonna fire from the hip here because I think this seems.
Yeah, and your commander isn't like someone who swings for those things, so you're relying on the board state you already have, and we just added in token makers.
Yep. And I think we could just do Village Rites and Deadly Dispute. We could also do Reckoner's Bargain, which is a big life gain spell, but we don't have trouble with our life, right? Like,
right.
We're not probably dying, and we're at 100 cards here.
Nice.
This is great. I mean, you know, the funny thing is you could make an argument here actually for impact tremors now. Which is...
I guess it does deal extra damage if Tor's in play.
It's kind of disgusting with Tor. If you like go turn 2 impact tremors and then start like making multiple bodies. We have 1, 2, 3,
So you still
4,
don't have
5,
that
6
many bodies though, right?
6 token makers. And we have 16 creatures, only 14 of which actually ETB.
Yeah.
1 second here. I am going to do a quick yeah, I'm going to do a quick swap here real quick into this, and then I need to close down one instance of OBS and then open another one. Hopefully this doesn't mess anything up. Let's see. And we're still here, everyone. We're just going to do a quick swap here. Ignore the countdown. Just got to reset my webcam here. Okay. And should be back in a moment. OBS is notoriously slow to open, I've noticed.
Yeah, it does tend to do that.
Especially when you've got 2 of them. It doesn't like that. I should probably get Streamlabs one of these days soon.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. The UI is good.
Yep. And that's what allows that's what you're using to both capture and stream at the same time?
I stream to Spell Table with my
OBS.
Streamlabs,
Oh,
and then
okay.
I record with normal OBS.
Oh, okay,
So
but
I
you
use
could do it the other way
OBS.
around too, couldn't you?
Yeah, you definitely could.
Deck Tech, and then we
I'll
go.
probably have to head out after this, Nate.
Let's see, Tor. There we go. Okay, and then we'll go. And actually, okay. So then we'll go boom. Oh wait, no, we don't need the other one open, right? Because we're go to Deck Tech. Okay, yeah, it's still having that problem. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just roll with it. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up here pretty quick. We actually have 100 cards here. This is looking real good, I think, to me. And let's see. So do we go back to? Oh, we got to turn this damn thing off. There we go. Cool. Yeah, we're looking really good with Tor. We cut some of the discard just down to just the 2 good ones, the really good ones, the most efficient. Added ramp. We added sweepers. We went down on removal, up a land, down on protection by 1, but up on protection for village rights and deadly dispute. So we cut the Battle Rager's Blessing. We did cut a red elemental blast. We added a little bit of we switched the monarch actually we kept the Crimson Fleet Commodore. I guess that's fine. It's the cheapest one, right? So we kept the cheap ones. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, you know what we don't have is we actually don't have Stirring Bard.
That's true.
I think that is actually the move here. Yeah, Stirring Bard is really good. Stirring Bard's also a great blocker. It's giving haste. You can imagine some scenarios where that's really important. So then what are we cutting next? Do we just cut a removal spell?
That, or you could cut the Commodore if you're not feeling the Commodore. Switch out a Monarch for an initiative.
Oh, yeah. I don't like that the Commodore isn't thick.
That is valid. especially if you want your creatures to be blocking most of the time.
Yeah, and Commodore is a good blocker. It's going to kill something, but it's better as an attacker, right?
Right.
So let's see. Take that out of that. Let's see. Yeah. So maybe the last cut. I can probably figure out this last cut in a moment here, but I think what we're going to do is we're just going to wrap it up for now. Let me see if I can switch to something where I can. Yeah, it's not showing my face. Not sure why that is. Deactivate, activate, maybe. Oh, there we go. Cool. Okay. Sweet. This should come through here. Give me a chance to kind of say goodbye to everyone. And looks like we are having some stream interruptions here. But anyways, we're gonna wrap things up for now. Thank you everybody for joining us today and for sticking around. It was great having you on this video and in this live stream. Thanks for sticking around for the game, for the little deck tech at the end. If you enjoyed this, I think all of you have probably done this so far, but give a little like to the video. If you have any comments on it, any feedback, leave it there in the chat for the algorithm. And if you want to see more great content like this, subscribe. In the future, Clay and I will have an established Patreon available for folks. We are going to be expanding all the tiers to make it to really, amplify the quality of what we're delivering to you. So for those of you that do want to support that, feel free to consider it. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Connoisseur is a fine common cardboard. This has been Papa Popper Puzzle. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you all on the flip side. Peace.